Well, well, well. Look who showed up to the party. The Rangers offense. Is it a one-off? Kind of hope not. Let's talk about it next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. Now that's more like it, right? That's more like what we expected out of the Rangers offense for the entire season. It's more like what we hope the Rangers offense can look like for a minute here. Hi there. Welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. Me, John Radigan. That's Jeff Wilson. Kat, the Queen, is back, and we're glad to have her. And we really put her to work today. I mean, you know, it's kind of like an initiation, Jeff. It's like baptism by fire, by God. We're going to make her do maybe more work than we've ever made a producer do.
Yeah, that's our goal.
I mean, what the heck?
Just fill up that Slack channel with.
Let's just see if she's up to muster. And so far, by God, she is. And we knew she would be, actually. We want you to chat with us. Join in. We know you're out there. It's finally a fun day. It's not just a fun day because it's another Frosty and Beer Day. Although that contributes, Jeff.
It does, and we need to get those.
Yeah, we'll have to
down
figure
here
out. Maybe I'll text Prophet or Ben or the skipper or somebody and say,
even here?
Bring us a. I didn't see him. Oh, he's on vacation.
Well,
okay, well, maybe Prophet. Prophet will probably
bring down two.
Prophet will hook us up. Wow, yeah. So look, we can finally laugh a little bit. Isn't it fun to be able to laugh a little bit? And because, Jeff, last night's game was a laugher. It's what you call a laugher.
Yeah, it was really nice and fun. And anytime you can make the other team bring in a position player to pitch, you're in good shape and get to enjoy those. But it was just good how they did it. There were 2 out hits. There were well, that was the main one. Hits with runners in scoring position, of course. And then the home runs came in late after everything was decided. So the lead was built on just good hitting, good offense, and man, it was just refreshing to see. And again, you know, we've seen it at times. You know, a little 11-run game here, then 2 weeks later another 11-run game, and then but this one comes after pretty good Saturday and Sunday in Washington, and that Tampa series, the last 2 games were pretty good. Then you can go back to the Cardinal series at home, and 2 of the 3 games are good. So there might just be something happening here, a little progress.
It seems like it. It feels like that there is progress, which is fantastic. And I think to your point, the previous 4 games, or 4 out of the previous 5 prior to yesterday's opening game of the series, all felt like the offense felt a little bit different. So we will hope that it continues to head in that direction. In the meantime, Nathan Eovaldi, and we'll get to lots more about this offense in the second segment. We've got some odds and ends from the game and from yesterday's baseball coming up in the third segment, and then, of course, the cleanup segment. But the news out of Minnesota yesterday, Jeff, was that Nathan Eovaldi is headed back home. And, Bruce Bochy's quote was basically that he is not progressing as we hoped he would, right? He's not moving along, not recovering quite as fast as we thought he would. And that it's troubling.
It is. Especially, and this kind of follows along the lines that, T.R. Sullivan.
Hang on, you guys were asking about the Prophet. There he is, bringing us a couple of buttons. There's the Prophet. He's okay, everybody. We still love the Prophet. By God. So anyway, back to you.
Anyway, it goes back to what T.R. Sullivan taught me. Never underestimate an injury.
Yes.
Because when Evaldi came out of the game, this is precautionary. He won't miss any time. And I'm like, we're just going to bump him back. And then it was like, all right, we're going to put him on the injured list, but as soon as he's ready, he's coming off. And now it's like, well, he's not responding as well as we thought. Send him back to Texas. So I don't think it's anything structural. The latest MRI had no structural damage. I think it's a nerve issue. I think that they're trying to get a nerve to calm down. And I was told that, and I said, nerve. Because it made me think of Max Scherzer.
Sure, yeah.
And I was told in all caps, in fact, this is not was in all caps, a Max Scherzer situation. So I just think they're being mindful that, again, more than half the season left. You want this guy in your rotation late when, again, the Rangers still believe they're going to be playing meaningful games in September. So it's time to get him 100%. But if the nerve gets calmed down, they're not going to have any hesitancy to put him in. It's possible he still throws this week. So we'll see. But I think that the visit yesterday was more of a, taking your car in for a tune-up or a diagnostic check and just making sure that what was initially diagnosed remains the correct diagnosis.
Yeah, and the timeline of it, as you mentioned, is the thing that it's just there's been kind of some mixed messages throughout, right?
Yeah.
In that we were both standing there with Evo just before they left on this long road trip. Might have been the getaway day before they left, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm pitching." Saturday or whatever his day was.
It was Thursday. He was going to pitch Thursday in Tampa.
He was going to pitch Thursday, and anyway, then we get the news from Chris Young later that afternoon that he was going on the injured list. And we're like, wait a minute. He just said he was pitching, right? So there's mixed messages there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, he's doing fine. He's coming back when we think. And now we get this news. And so you're right. And so then in your experience, and you have a better memory for stuff like this, other than Scherzer, can we remember people who pitched through nerve issues? Like, is that a thing where, okay, it's not structural, it's the nerve.
Yeah.
The nerve might bark at you a little bit, but it's not going to hurt you long term. You can pitch. Or is that something that's not even going to be considered?
I don't recall one off the top of my head, and then maybe it's because the Scherzer thing is scarred into my memory. But and then a lot of times you don't know what these guys are pitching through.
100%.
He's got something, but he's fighting through it. You do hear some nerve things, and it sounds like a minor deal until I guess you have one, and those nerves can play tricks on you. But if Evaldi knows that he can't hurt himself, and he just has to recognize that as he throws, nothing bad is happening in his arm. It's just this nerve, and I think he's going to be steely enough to get through it. But again, they do want it to calm down. For a pitcher to be at his best, he doesn't have to be wondering, God, why is my arm tight? And just the natural instinct that would come with that. So I guess we'll wait and find out today. There should be some news, an update on his status, and so we'll end up waiting to see what happens. But I don't think it's like this god awful thing. I just think it's a little bit more than what it was initially cracked up to be.
Meantime, the Rangers have signed a closer.
That's
Jeff,
right.
A proven closer. The same thing everybody was asking for the entire offseason. Although, I'm not sure. Look, put it this way. They've signed him to a minor league deal.
Well, honestly, when this guy is done and you look at his final numbers, you're going to be like, should he be on the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
That's how good Craig Kimbrell has been at times. And he has a pile, more than 400 saves. He's been around forever. Now, sometimes it's a heart attack, and I don't think Oriole fans, after seeing him last year, would at all agree with my recent assessment. the Braves signed him. He pitched, one inning for them. I don't think it went particularly well.
Yeah, I mean, he gave up a hit, but no runs.
He was immediately designated for assignment. I think what the issue was the stuff was a little bit down. This is a guy that used to throw it 97, 98, touch 100 every once in a while. His average fastball velocity was 91.6.
Yeah.
I was going to say that stings 92. A little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just been kind of tumbling for the last handful of years. So I wouldn't get too excited about it yesterday, or I wouldn't get too excited about his signing. However, he is he can pitch. He's crafty. He can probably get through some stuff, and maybe the Rangers can unlock some velocity. Maybe it's not father time because he's been around a long time, but maybe there's a way they can a mechanical thing or just some kind of change might lead to more velocity. I don't know if he's going to suddenly pick up 6 miles per hour, but he probably needs to throw a little bit harder right now. So this isn't the future closer here,
right?
But it is an experienced arm and could probably use the depth and somebody who you can call up and he knows a thing or two.
No doubt. I mean, there's no room for him to be this guy, but to be that guy in the clubhouse with a bunch of young relief pitchers. Yeah. Not all of them are young. Obviously, Chris Martin's not. But with young guys, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing. That said, you've got to bring more to the table than just your experience. He's 37, though, Jeff. Yeah. He's 2 years younger than
Chris Martin. Yeah.
So that's, not necessarily too old, but everybody's body reacts to all this wear and tear that baseball puts on it differently.
Well, and, he's throwing a lot of ball games, throwing a lot of high leverage situations.
Yeah.
If you look at the career saves total, 440 saves. That's pretty good.
That's good.
He hasn't had more than 24 is his high in the last 5 seasons. That was in 2021. He saved 42 in 2018, and it's kind of diminished since then. But it's still a name, and I'd be kind of curious, but I don't want to see it in the 9th inning.
No, certainly not yet. I mean, he needs to prove himself somewhere else first, probably starting at the minor league level. I do think that, of course, when the Braves DFA'd him, he had a chance if he wanted to stay with that organization. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't, and then did take a minor league assignment with the Rangers, that sends a message. That says something.
It does. And maybe he sees more opportunity, whatever it is. And maybe Chris Young had a nice little sales pitch. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure, but there are a lot of ways to do it. Rarities. Do you think what happened to Joe Nathan when he signed with the Rangers will work out for Kimbrel too? It's different because Nathan was coming off of Tommy John surgery, and
I think he was younger too,
a little younger,
not a lot
younger. Yeah. So I think they're just two different scenarios.
I mean, Nathan signed a free agent deal here.
Yeah, I mean,
he was a major league deal. Yeah,
it was the move that triggered Neftali Feliz going to the rotation. That's why they signed him, so that they could have an answer there, and then send Feliz to the rotation where he blew up. But yeah, and as Gallagher Jamp says, it's low risk, but he's kind of washed. Well, yeah, maybe he is, but
and Blake's right. His numbers at the minor league level for the Braves were good.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, think of those minor leaguers watching this and all that, they're getting distracted. But I've said this before. I'm not positive as a fan I can watch him if he's closing every game. That gets me nervous.
But I'll say this. If he was having success at AAA where they have the ABS, that means he was throwing quality strikes.
True point. Yeah.
And so that would be a good sign, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely true. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what comes of it, if anything. But it's happened, right? That thing happened. Let's talk about this offensive resurgence that was certainly in full force last night. And like we said, maybe it was not necessarily the beginning, but a continuation of improved offense. It's next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. But first, Mando. And I'll tell you this, these cooler days, right, feel like, oh, this is really nice. But do anything outside right now, and you know how badly you need Mando because it's so humid. I mean, I go to sweating. Walk into the car, I go, right? It's just, It's so humid right now that you've got to utilize the products that are available to you. And don't be afraid to use them in the middle of a day. I keep a pack of the Mando wipes in my car so that if I get to stinking, right?
That's a good place for them.
It is. Yeah. If I get to stinking on the way into the office here, that's all right. Get a little here and a little there. Generally won't wipe the grundle in the parking garage.
Yeah. That's
generally won't.
Get a little awkward.
That could be awkward. And I don't want to be accused of anything, but I will say this. They work. They smell great. They keep you fresh, cool, and smelling great. $5 off your starter pack with the code DLLS.
I don't know that these Wendy's Frosties are going to make you smell any better, but they will keep you cool.
They will.
They will keep you cool. These things are delicious. You see us scarfing them down pretty much every show. It's Frosty, but it's like a new spin on the Frosty with these Frosty Swirl and Frosty Fusion flavors, Oreo, brownie, caramel crunch. Juan is working on the Pop-Tarts. I'm going to dive into the brownie one here in a second. They're so good. They really are good, John. I'm always hesitant of going to a fast food place for ice cream that isn't Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
And these are wonderful. I think the Wilson children would enjoy them. That's how good they are. And so anyway, as you've heard us say before, whatever flavor you're craving, odds are we've got a Frosty for it. Clock in for a sweet treat anytime, including midnight or later, with Wendy's all-new Frosty flavors that are refresh on a classic. Gotta be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
All right, so Jeff needs to take a few bites of his, which is the brownie batter, I think. I had that one yesterday.
I got to get to the batter.
And you got to get down there. I'm not a big chocolate guy, so I liked it but didn't love it. Believe it or not, and so you're saying, are you eating your words, John? Which I guess you could say I am, because I've said the Pop-Tart is the most overrated breakfast food in the world, and still believe that. Not eating my words, but I am eating another Pop-Tart Frosty, by God, because I'll tell you what, and maybe it's just that you could put anything in a Frosty and make it good. I don't know. But this Pop-Tart Frosty is serious, Joe.
It's good. Yeah, I'm
You like it on my shirt too?
Oh, it goes well.
You like the brownie batter?
I do like the brownie.
Yeah, okay. We'll keep chowing them throughout the day. And we're anxious for the second break when we crack open the beers.
Jim Rockford.
Yeah, he called it.
Who apparently was working on a case for the first segment of the show.
Yeah.
He's back. And he did predict the score yesterday of 16-4. I thought it was 16-3 is what he said.
Did he say 16-4 yesterday? Wow.
Well, I mean, I trust Jim Rockford.
Well, and
but I do remember him predicting a very lopsided score that had the Rangers scoring 16 times.
Well done, Jim, and it's probably in the Rockford files. So
that's right. Out there in L.A., he's been busy with all these riots going on.
Yeah, we could check it in the Rockford files.
I hope his Pontiac is all right.
I do too. That's a sweet ride. That is a sweet ride. I didn't call it, but I am feeling so happy about the way that this offense has gone, Jeff, just in the fact that, like we said, it really isn't just one game. We were seeing Jake Berger hit the ball better. We were seeing Evan Carter hit the ball. I mean, Evan Carter, Evan and Marcus were each a triple shy of the cycle on Sunday.
That's Berger and Carter.
It was Jake. Yeah. So two of the young guys who are new, or Evan's not that new, but new enough, and they were coming around, right? Simeon obviously is as hot as any hitter in baseball right now, right? I mean, so there have been signs of this coming, and then it all came together yesterday.
Yeah, and I thought the Rangers would have a chance to maybe take advantage of the Twins' rotation this series. as they dealt with their injuries. And Simeon and Richardson, they made him work pretty hard. They finally really got to him in the fifth. They started to chip away there in the third when they scored the 3 runs, and then they had the 5 runs against him. And I can't remember the name of the reliever they brought in, but he was
Alcala.
You talk about wash. No, that Alcala was later. No, not Daniel Colum. He's all right. It was the first reliever who was maybe he was no good. But it was just nice to see. And Carter, who hit the home run yesterday, he had the great catches. He had like a fantastic all-around game.
Well, and since we showed a picture of a catch yesterday of an opposing player, a divisional player, let's show the still frame. Look at that of Evan last night.
Yeah,
I mean, and again, like it doesn't look like he's going to catch that, does it?
That was a big play too.
And it was, and it looks like he was like but I mean, he had to run for it. He was back to it. He had to turn around. That's a heck of a catch.
Yeah, and
a great pick too, by the way.
And I don't think anybody was ever worried that Evan Carter would not hit. The worry is his health.
Yes,
that's the thing, because when he's healthy, he hits, and so you hope that this is a sign of lots and lots of hits to come. These last 2 games for him, he has a homer in 2 straight games, and and the at bats with him are just good at bats. Still, even when he makes an out, they're usually really good at bats. So if he's feeling good and his body's right, then he knows he doesn't have to cheat or do anything, and doesn't have to guess at the plate. He can trust his instincts and what his just advanced pitch recognition and strike zone judgment. And so if he's going, we said this yesterday, him and Simeon and Berger are going, but then you saw Josh Young have a nice game with a big, he had 4 RBIs. We had a big 2-out hit.
Yeah.
Garcia had the first big hit.
Yeah.
The double.
Couple of doubles in the game for Adolis.
A double to right field that wasn't like in the gap. It was just like a good line drive down the line. When's the last time you saw Adolis Garcia do that? Kyle Higashioka had 5 RBIs. So the 7 through 9 hitters had like 11 RBIs. And this offense, every offense is good or at its best when the bottom of the lineup is producing. But when they're producing, they're getting on base. So then you see the top of the lineup do something. And it was good to see Wyatt Langford hit a home run and Corey Seager get some hits, and the first out he made was a line drive to right field at 111 miles an hour.
Something.
So you think that he is again, nobody had any concerns about him, and yesterday might have been his get healthy.
Might have been the breakout. He had the hit, the slam, that got caught, and then 2 walks. So that's rare for Corey Seager. Who's one of the more aggressive guys up there, but nice to see him, working the count and taking a couple of walks there. That was all just fantastic to see. And when Boach was asked after the game about that bottom of the order production, he was saying, look, I got guys in the bottom of the order right now who don't belong there, right? Yeah. They're not used to being there. But that said, he goes, that is a testament to our depth. That's how deep this team is. Because if he does shift those guys back up to a spot higher in the batting order, Jeff, some of the guys who are higher right now just go take that 7, 8, and 9 spot. And what you have then is you have consistency and you have hits throughout the lineup. Oh, by the way, yesterday the Rangers had hits throughout the lineup. Let's take a look at what the starting 9 did yesterday. Yep, every single one of them had at least 1 hit. Marcus Semien 1 for 4. Wyatt 1 for 5, but it was a big one. And I guess Jake was just 1 for 5. But everybody else with multiple hits. 6 guys with multiple hits, including the 3 by Evan Carter, 3 out of 4 with his second home run in as many days.
Yeah.
So
and Berger did not get a hit on the ball that he hit to Byron Buxton. It was a line drive, and Buxton jumped and it hit off his glove, and they gave him an error, a 2-base error. But that started the 4th inning rally. So
yes.
Berger was putting the ball in play. Everybody put the ball in play yesterday. And, you look at the strikeout totals, they were down. And it's just, Langford did have 2 hits, Blake Bryan. You're right, because he had a hit off the pitcher.
Okay.
The position player. And as Ron Washington used to say, when a position player is in the game, you go get yours.
Yes.
Don't throw away the at bat.
Nope.
Go and get yours and pad those stats.
Yep.
And anyway, just a great day.
It's that kind of up and down, right? Pass the baton, they used to say. I think that was the Michael Young group and Ian Kinsler who kind of coined that phrase. They're just passing the offensive baton from one guy to the next, and that's what this team is capable of doing. And that's we've known that from the beginning of the year, from before the season started, and it's one of the reasons that everybody expected this team to be great offensively. It's just been really strange that the start has been so bad. And, of course, it definitely begs the question, is it too late? One of the reasons that I think them responding now and maybe starting this offensive engine now, one of the reasons it's not too late, Jeff, I think, is that this division is still so winnable, right? I mean, the Astros and the Mariners, neither one have, really established that they're that great.
And they're both dealing with pitching injuries. I know some of the Mariners guys came back, but now I think one of them is going to go back on the IL or is battling with something. The Astros just lost a guy not that long ago. So, the Rangers, despite all their woes, they're 4.5 games back in the West.
Right.
And
everybody's back to 3 games under 500.
Back, and 3.5 back in the wild card. Now, of course, there are a lot of teams between them in the wild card, so I always try to focus on the division. But there's one team above 500 right now. The Mariners are at 500. The Astros are above 500. But again, and then you look at the run differential.
Yeah.
And, John, I know you're going to
we know a little bit about that from 15, was it? When the Rangers 16. Okay, it was 16.
But the Rangers are one of 2 teams in the West with positive.
Look at that
run differential.
And again, the Angels are only a half game ahead of the Rangers right now, but they're ahead. And look at that, a minus 51 for them. The Mariners are minus 11, and then the Athletics. I mean, that's just that's down there in the Colorado Rockies, Chicago White Sox territory. But the reality is, as poorly as the offense has been playing, Jeff, to have a positive run differential and a pretty significant one, I think, first of all, it speaks remarkably well to the pitching efforts and the fact that the Rangers pitchers have held the opponent down. It's just that the Rangers offense couldn't even get above that level to get those victories.
The Rockies are minus 199.
Are they really?
That's unbelievable. The White Sox are minus 49, so they're better than the A's in
run differential. And again, we learned the hard way. We learned the importance of that in 2016 when the Rangers were barely positive, I think. Right. Barely
had the best
over.
record in baseball and the American League, but barely were barely positive on the run differential. Everyone's, that's going to get them because they won so many one-run games.
Yep.
Anyway.
And then they were.
I mean, now I know we're all excited about it. The chat's excited and we're excited. But I'm still not convinced.
How can you be?
Right.
How can you?
I don't think it's fixed yet. I'd like to see this for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 good in a row. Then all right, you get held to 1 run. That happens to everybody. And then, but the next day you go out and score 5.
Right.
And bounce back. So this is This is pretty exciting, potentially.
Yes.
But we got to.
And here's the reality. They had a 15-run game, which I had forgotten about. But they had a 15-run game against Oakland earlier this year. And I'm sure that day we were probably going, okay, this is it. And the only reason I'm not sitting here going, stop it, tap the brakes, everybody, is those previous 4 that we were talking about, right? Those previous 4 out of 5, there was one terrible game in there, but previous 4 out of 5, there were signs of offensive life. And then this game was the explosion. So I believe that this could well be the start of something big. But would I bet money on it? Not a chance. I mean, we've seen too much struggle, for lack of a better word, from this offense this season to fully believe yet. But it's a start. You got to start somewhere. And up next, we're going to get to some odds and ends from the game and from the day, and we'll chat with you more about things you're saying in our chat. It's all coming up. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. And it's time to talk about the OG. That would be Empire Today, our favorite flooring experts, who, as Jeff reminded yesterday, they have flooring specialists. That's all they do at Empire Today is sell and figure out how to get to you flooring products. And again, they're not selling hammers and pesticides and fertilizer. They're selling flooring, and that's fantastic. And so they have the best quality, the best prices, and they have the best technology too, where they can show you what you need in your room, how it would look virtually by the magic of this great app. So anyway, we encourage you to go to EmpireToday.com, use the code DLLS, and get $350 off the brand new floors that will make your house have the home field advantage.
$350. That's a big number.
Big number.
Big number. With $350, you can go buy yourself, I don't know, probably
a lot
of Bud Light.
Yeah.
And I would guess you could probably get 15 cases. I'm gonna go with that number.
Okay.
But anyway, let's open that bad boy up.
That's good.
Bud Light, cool, refreshing. Nothing beats a cold beer on a hot day. And you're not going to pack on a ton of calories with these bad boys. So don't just stop at one. Your diet plan is still going to be fine if you have 3 to 7. And then I know a lot of people like beer and pizza.
Yeah,
I like beer and barbecue. I think that's my favorite beer combination. But Bud Light, trust me, their new ads are great with Post Malone and Shane Gillis, who's hysterical. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 years and older. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Do you watch? Have you ever heard of the show Tires on Netflix?
No.
It's with Shane Gillis. It is so funny.
But he's a country music star, right? Shane?
No, he's a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
And he is hysterical. That show is don't watch it with kids, as my wife and I learned last night, but it's really good. And so it's on Netflix, and you need to start watching it.
Tires. I will.
Yeah.
Now, Mister, you're right. I can't even imagine how good, because Jeff said people like beer with pizza. He likes beer with barbecue. Here we go. I like beer with Pop-Tarts. It's official.
Hey, all right.
How many people drink beer with their Pop-Tarts? I do. Right there, baby. That Pop-Tart Frosty.
You remember the
fantastic
movie, of course you remember the movie Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, of course.
After their big blowout party,
the
next morning Lewis is eating a giant bowl of Cheerios and
poured
he pours beer in
yeah.
it instead of milk. So
all right,
it's been done.
Now that I've had it with Pop-Tarts, I may have to try cereal with beer, but that's darn fine. And again, I've always been a fan of the beer and cookies, so beer and Frosty doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me a bit. All right, let's get to this Jared Sandler news. Jared, our good buddy, was on the broadcast last night. He was on pre- and post-game. Not doing this 3-game leg of the road trip. And by the way, just as a quick thought on that, Eric picks his places that he likes to go based on location of the press box. So he was telling me he never goes to Washington anymore because it's not the press box per se; it's the broadcast booth.
I mean, the press box is super high there too.
It is,
but
I think he said
broadcast is on top of.
I was just going to say, I think
yeah.
that's what he told me. The broadcast booth is actually on top of the press box there. So he said it's way too high. Pittsburgh, a place that I think everybody would love to go in general.
Super high.
Super high. He's not going to Pittsburgh. And I'm not really sure why he didn't go to Tampa, but for whatever reason. But anyway, he did join in Minnesota. And so he's on the radio broadcast with Matt Hicks. Jared's in the booth and he had done the Rangers Day pregame show, and he was getting ready to do the postgame show. And here came a foul ball. And Jared is by his computer.
Yeah, he was with the Riders. He was in the.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was in the press box, right next to the Rangers PR representative that's on the trip.
Yeah, Andrew.
And Andrew. And then he's just doing his work, and he says somebody yelled, "Look out, foul ball!" So here's Jared. Right.
He got under the table. I've never seen anybody get
so fast.
but I've never seen anybody get down like that.
Yeah, he got under the table really quickly. And of course, everything's on TV.
Oh.
There's a camera following everything. So they got it, and they showed it, and they made fun of Jared. And so that's what happens, Jared. And look, Jared played baseball through high school, went to USC and tried to walk on their program, ultimately stayed with the program in capacities of, bullpen catcher type work and manager and this type of thing. But it's a good baseball player.
Yeah.
Man, he didn't even try. He just dove for the ground.
Yeah. And now, it is hard. I can speak from experience. When you're late in a game and you're working on your story and you're focused in and maybe you're not watching the game, and all of a sudden you hear look out or foul incoming or something like that.
Trying to pick it up is not easy.
Yeah. The old Angels press box used to be the best in baseball. Honestly, it's a location and you're really low. And there was one game tapping away late at night, and Chris Davis was batting for the Rangers. So this was 9 or 10, and they had they had about a 3-inch
little ledge
railing.
Yeah.
And TR was sitting next to me, and foul ball. He's like, "Look out! It hit the railing. If it hadn't hit the railing, it would have destroyed my computer." There was another time at Anaheim, and I found out of this later. It was like TR there, no, me there, empty seat TR. There was a foul ball hit, and it just went perfectly right between us. And we were watching it the whole way, but none of us reached. We didn't reach out to try to catch it. Apparently, Tom Grieve made
fun of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, he should have.
Apparently, Tag was not pleased with our effort.
No, he should have. I mean, you got to at least make a try.
We just watched it.
Good point. And I will say this: Mark McLemore told me over the years, "Don't try to catch those, dude," because I'd be on the field a lot of times. The field. And so, they come screaming hot at you on the field in those photo wells. And Mark was like, "Don't try to catch those." And then every time one of them did, and of course, I can't get into my computer there. Mm-hmm. For as long as I was doing that job, I was pretty sure that I was going to die by a baseball hitting me in the face. I was pretty sure that was going to be the form of death on my death certificate. And so anyway, Max says, "Don't try to catch him." I would never be in here, so I'd always be watching. But what I had decided to do, I actually played quite a bit of tennis.
Oh, okay.
And I had those, the big microphone with the big mic flag. So I was always ready when it came to me to hit it. And Dave Raymond made fun of that. But I'm telling you, it never quite got close enough. But that's what I would have done. Okay. I would have hit it.
Yeah, no, I'm
forehand smash,
If the chairs have wheels, I'm very good at pushing myself out of the way.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Anyway,
I should protect the computer better. Though.
Yeah, well, and when an announcer does that, any broadcaster and anybody with a computer these days, they've got to answer for it. And last night, after the game, Jared did.
All right, well, I guess we'll open it up to questions.
What do you have to say about your performance?
Really not a whole lot to say, right? I mean, I take full accountability. I was in a position to make a play, and I didn't. And it's going to be tough to sleep at night thinking about it. Not really sure what was going through my mind. Not only did I duck to protect myself and not my computer, which is far more valuable, but, I mean, it's what every broadcaster dreams of, a foul ball coming up to the booth and when the lights were shining the brightest, I wasn't able to deliver.
No, he didn't deliver. At least he owned up to it. We've said this many times about young players. Jared's still a pretty young broadcaster. You got to get to your locker. And apparently Jared did. Went right to the locker, and he was just standing there waiting for the media.
Well, that's good. And those were good questions.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura was apparently the only person in the gaggle of media asking questions of Jared. But, pretty funny. I love that Jared can laugh at himself about it. And it's fun to – I promise you there will be more on Rangers game day today and probably during the broadcast tonight as well. So that's just a fun little sidebar. This sidebar from last night's baseball, not so fun, right? But it definitely has something to do with what we talked about the other day, that being that the ABS will be a part of Major League Baseball next year.
Yeah, and the Athletic, Athletic's really been on this story. They ran a poll, I guess, had some of their writers at various markets ask players about the ABS, and the players are not for it.
They're not.
No, I think they have some concerns about the accuracy and because again, it's not 100. It's not going to be 100% accuracy. There's a little margin for error, I believe, in there. So I think there's some concern about that's lingering. But I think they're going to come around on it. But anyway, when you have Laz Diaz as your umpire, I think you're going to want the ABS. He was the umpire behind the plate last night for the fighting Padres and the Dodgers. Now, the game ended up being 11-1 Padres. So I don't know that Laz's awful, awful game had an incredible impact on it. But if you can take a look at his from our friends at Umpire Scorecard, take a look at that. 75% called strike accuracy. And I know that somebody yesterday in the chat had asked how Laz did in the game he had during the Rangers Rays series, and I didn't go back and look at that because I was just dumbfounded by this one. 75% called strike accuracy. Just look at all those misses. It's incredible that guys like this continue to have jobs. Andy Fletcher had a plate game last night and was actually, for Andy, pretty good.
Yeah,
I think he was in the 90s, but what a nightmare. Now that I guess that teams always ask about, as long as he's consistent. Well, 91% consistency. I don't know if that's good enough either.
No,
I think he wanted to be a little higher, but
yeah,
I would, again, each team is going to get two challenges, and if they're right, they keep their challenge.
Right.
I mean, if you have a bad umpire,
and he's 25% wrong,
you're going to have these games are going to get longer. So
might take a minute. Yeah.
Might next year might be a trial by fire and have to make some tweaks on it. Or that's my conspiracy. I mentioned it yesterday. You weed out the really bad ones because they're slowing games down and they're embarrassing themselves. Anyway.
And did you see the bit last night where CB Buckner and Cal Raleigh got into an argument about warm-up pitches?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Literally CB's out there and they're just throwing warm-up pitches. And I don't know what he said, nor do we know what Cal Raleigh said, but there they were, jawing, and, out comes the manager. They had to, get him out there before the game because that's, that, and some, again, to the point that we always make about that, none of us pay our hard-earned money to go watch the umpires ump.
Yeah, and CB's terrible. I mean,
he is.
He's one of the worst. Now that the worst, Angel Hernandez, is gone, he's one of the worst, and I don't understand why he would get upset about that. But whatever.
Yeah.
But another reason to maybe think about, making him an offer he can't refuse, like we did with Angel. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Is that what
that's
we figure?
Speculation.
Yeah, that we did with Angel Hernandez. Hey, it's been great. Here's a nice severance package or retirement package, and take your golden parachute and get the heck out of here. So anyway, that's some of the odds and ends from last night's game. Fun night of baseball for Rangers fans, and and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Let's go for a little win streak. I mean, and Boach, by the way, said it didn't count as a streak in his mind till 3.
Okay.
I was calling 2 a streak yesterday, but Boach wants 3.
Well,
Let's go. You know what? They
All
have
right.
one 6-game win streak already this year.
That's right.
Let's exceed that. Could we?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility, Jeff, or no?
The road is hard, but again, with these twins pitchers are beat up.
Yep.
So.
All right, let's see what happens. We've got more coming up. It's our cleanup segment. That's coming next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast.
If you guys haven't done it yet, and I know we keep asking you this or telling you this, ordering you this, whatever it is, you need to become a diehard.
Yeah.
You can do so at alldls.com/join or by scanning that handy-dandy QR code on your screen. Here's what you get. Everything that we write, you have access to. And not just my Rangers content, but Mavs, Stars, and the other team, the Cowboys. If there's always something going on with these teams. I mean, the Stars are fired their dang coach. The Mavs may lose their coach while also getting arguably a player who's going to be better than Luka Doncic. And then the Cowboys are the Cowboys. So go ahead and do it, all right? And then you get 20% off of everything we do, and you get a free shirt. But why is that 20% important, John?
Well, it's important because you might have the opportunity to go to Las Vegas with our Cowboys crew November the 14th through the 18th. Wouldn't this be a fantastic trip? See a Cowboys game. It's the first time the Cowboys have played the Raiders in Las Vegas since they moved there. It's a beautiful stadium, a cool city. One of the things I know that they have, two of the things I know that they have in Las Vegas is Bud Light and Wendy's. So you could go there and test my assertion, my claim that Bud Light and Pop-Tarts go well together.
I think Wendy should start selling Bud Light.
They should.
Yeah.
And you could do it right there at the Wendy's. In the meantime, it may take until November for you to prove it to yourself. But I'm right. The strawberry Pop-Tart and the Bud Light go well together. Hopefully the Cowboys will be cruising when they get to Las Vegas. But you know what? Even if they're not, you will have fun with our crew. And you'll get 20% off if you're a diehard. All right, let us do our tiny little cleanup segment. And it starts with, we always try to tell you how much we like the call-up stories. And I know we've shown a few of them. This one is by far the best.
Very good.
It's the Nationals, the Washington Nationals, a team the Rangers just finished playing. And maybe in part because of what the Rangers did to them over the weekend, they went to the minor leagues and they made a call-up. Here we go.
Hey, come on in, big dog. Have a seat. Hope you're doing well, man. Hey, I got some news for you. I think you're going to like it. Last year you got called up to AAA, did a really nice job, but we still thought we needed some work down at the lower levels. We put a plan in place. You went down, you did your work, you made some improvements. And the one thing that the front office noticed, man, you were working your tail off every single day. And you did a nice job coming back to AAA this year. But I'm excited to tell you, the front office, the GM, the president, the owners, they're excited to invite you to Nats Park for your call-up to the Major Leagues on June the 14th. Congratulations.
Reaction. Just he wagged his tail. I love that. That's fun. But you know what? Why couldn't we have had the Bat Dog? I mean, call him up like last Friday, where we would have been able to watch the Bat Dog and see how. I think they're serious about that part of it.
Yeah,
I think that dog's going to be at Nationals Park retrieving bats.
Yeah, and the Nationals, they had the president races. I think they still have them. That was always
that's
always
fun.
A good time.
Yeah.
You got to get people out to the park. Hopefully it's a bark at the park night that they're doing this in association with. Let those dogs that are cooped up in the city get out and sniff other dogs' butts in the ballpark and have a good time. But the manager there for Rochester, Matt LaCroix, former big leaguer who played for the Twins, and then I think he had a little time with the Nationals. Basically built the exact same as he was as a player.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. And
and he played it super well. Come on in, big dog. Which again, you could see
play your tail off.
Yeah, you've been working your tail off, and you can see, a manager calling a player big dog in that situation. So, pretty funny stuff. I wish that we would have seen it last week. We'll have to keep an eye on their highlights and just see how well the dog does. We'll review and we'll let you know. Roman Anthony called up. I meant to talk about this yesterday. I was going to say show it, but we can't. So in his first game with the Red Sox, he was 0 for, which is not surprising, right?
Yeah, right.
But he also, he whiffed on a rolling ball out there in right field. You see that?
Yes.
And it went all the way to the wall. And this is a big, strong man. And he turned and he ran after that ball. I think it ended up being a triple, not an inside the Parker. But that is not how you want to begin your major league career.
No, it isn't. And, it happens. But he got his first hit last night.
Yeah.
Apparently, I saw this. It must be true because it was on TMZ Sports. His older sister is a very attractive young lady, and apparently a lot of fans caught glimpses of her on the broadcast, and were very excited about that.
I saw a video of him greeting family members, and I wondered if that was the sister or the girlfriend. Of course, the first person he greeted was mom, then dad, and then the attractive young woman.
Sister, not girlfriend.
Okay, so good.
Yeah.
Man, they're close. No, I'm kidding. No. They weren't doing anything. They weren't doing anything inappropriate at all. But anyway, I always like to see that nice debut for a kid like him. Shohei Ohtani is apparently a little bit ahead of schedule on the pitching front, Jeff. The thought always was he would not throw his first, be back on a major league mound and throw his first game for the LA Dodgers since he was out all last year as a pitcher. Thought was it wouldn't be until after the All-Star break.
Okay.
But he's up to 44 pitches against hitters in these live BP sessions and so forth. And they're thinking that maybe, just maybe, he gets a start or two before the break. And when asked about it, Dave Roberts said, I would say that the likelihood of that is definitely north of 0. And he said, I know, like what, 0.001? No. And he said, it's very tempting. And the reason it's tempting, not only because it's Ohtani, but Jeff, their pitching staff once again has been decimated with injury.
Yeah. The guy at Steve who works behind the counter at Orange Theory. Big Dodgers guy. So he keeps asking me, why do the Dodgers have all these pitching injuries? Today he was ready to get rid of the pitching coach, who's Mark Pryor, who knows a thing or two about injuries. But I said, well, they really probably need to change the training and conditioning and strength guys, because there's got to be something wrong, because this isn't just this year. It's like the last 3 years these guys have been just plagued by injuries. So anyway, Steve's concerned, and Ohtani would definitely help with that. I do wonder, though, if they're going to send him out on a rehab assignment. I would really think that's got to happen. You just don't get the same thing from live BP against your own teammates.
Agreed.
So I would assume that he's going to get out there, and even if it's going out to wherever their A-ball team is, somewhere in the California League,
right? Which
is basically probably going to drive,
an
easy drive to get him there to do that. Just even if it's that, facing hitters and pitching in front of fans and all of that stuff, having an umpire instead of the track man, just get out there and experience it. I would just think it has to happen.
It does seem, because it's going to be close to 2 years between major league pitches, right? I think it was kind of late in the last year with the Angels, right? That he
like August.
It was August, yeah. So, but still, we're damn near to July here. So there you go.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, that'll be, a month or thereabouts shy of 2 years without pitching on a mound. The amazing thing is how well he performed in every other aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, well, I say, hitting, but still.
Well, and now that he's back doing pretty heavy pitching things.
Yeah.
He was just on a tear the last 2 weeks. Just hitting home runs left and right. So he's somehow able to do it. So it hasn't affected him to date, but
once he starts actually pitching,
we'll
let's
see what
see
happens.
then too.
Yeah.
But he is really, truly one of the most amazing stories, maybe the most amazing story in the history of the long storied history of this great game. Anyway, keep an eye on him. Have you heard about this Kenny Serwa? He's a pitcher in the minor leagues of the Detroit Tigers.
No.
I think he's a AA for the Tigers. Throws a knuckleball.
Oh.
And there's not
exciting.
many of those left. Of course, those of us who were around in the late 80s and 90s, we remember Charlie Huff's knuckleball.
Yeah.
And we remember the great story that Jim Sundberg tells where Sonny was asked, so, gosh, how do you catch a knuckleball? And Sonny said, well, I usually just wait until it stops rolling and then go pick it up, because you can't catch a knuckleball. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. So I just wait till it stops rolling and then I go pick it up. But again, knuckleball, and I looked it up. I don't know if Google is right or AI or whoever gave me the answer, but knuckleballs average somewhere at the major league level, somewhere between 60 and 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
This kid's throwing 88-mile-an-hour knuckleballs.
That's crazy.
And said, by the way, I know my knuckleball is really moving well when the catcher can't catch it.
Well, hey,
they were flinging off of the catcher's glove yesterday when he was throwing 88 miles an hour. An 88-mile-an-hour knuckleball, Jeff, is damn near unhittable. That's almost a fastball at the major league level.
You would think so. It seemed like R.A. Dickey threw a hard knuckleball, but not that hard.
No.
Now, like Wakefield and Tom Candiotti and Steve Sparks.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. They really just floated them in.
Yeah.
I think a butterfly might land on them, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Henry, my son, really wants to learn how to throw a knuckleball.
Really?
Tony Beasley throws a hell of a knuckleball.
Does he?
He does. And these guys can pitch all the time. And if Bees could get it perfected, I'd say, let's give it a look.
No, why not?
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's why one of the reasons Charlie Huff pitched until he was at an advanced age. He was dang near Nolan's age when they pitched together, and he would, Charlie is one of the last guys I remember smoking in the clubhouse. Yeah. And Charlie'd get in that clubhouse after a game, and he'd light one up, and he'd sit right there. And if you wanted to go talk to Charlie after a game, Jeff, you're getting secondhand smoke. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's all good. So anyway, there's a knuckleballer out there. Let's clean this up a little bit. Yeah, Blake said he used to love watching Wakefield, and why not? It's fun to watch pitchers baffle hitters that much. No doubt about that. So anything else we got to look at here?
Kumar Rocker returned to the mound last night at AAA. Round Rock, he allowed a run in 4 innings. So pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. Only 4 innings. Game that Round Rock lost 9-4. For Luis Cabrera, who everybody thought was getting called up, he allowed a run. Patrick Murphy is back. You guys remember Patrick Murphy?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's been back and doing really well until last night. But the Rangers are not stretching him out to be a starter. They are trying to get him maybe to 2 or 3 innings, and maybe he becomes an option in the mold of Caleb Bosley. But right now, what awful timing for his injury, because he was making the team.
Yeah.
He was making the team,
Yep.
no doubt about it. And it just didn't work out for him. But he is throwing, and people have some lingering Patrick Murphy questions. There you go.
There you go. Now you know all about Patrick Murphy's road to getting back to the major league level. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate you very much. Tomorrow we are on after. We're basically kind of wrapping up 2 games tonight's and tomorrow's. We're on, whenever the game ends tomorrow afternoon. It's getaway day in Minnesota. Rangers will finally head home after this 9-game, 10-day, 3-city odyssey, and we'll be there for the final one of those. Post game tomorrow.
My mic is not Cat's fault. I had accidentally pushed on the rope a little hard.
Okay.
I was just giving a Patrick Murphy update. He's back 2 to 3 innings. There you go.
There you go. All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We look forward to that, and we'll talk to you then on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.